Good morning. Today is Thursday, February 13th, 2025. Happy Tu B'Shvat. Today is Tu B'Shvat, the 14th day of Shvat. It's a minor celebration, and I hope that you're doing something fun to celebrate this beautiful day. I once heard someone say, I was raised as an only child, which really annoyed my sister. In Bereshis, in the Parsha Miketz, we learned that Yosef, after he was made second in command of Egypt, he married a woman named Asnat, and they had two sons. Vayikra Yosef es Shem HaBachar Menashe. Yosef named his firstborn son Menashe. Veshem Hasheni Kara Ephraim. And the name of the second son was Ephraim. Menashe and Ephraim. The first son and the second son. And that seems like the normal wording of what we would expect. But in our Torah portion, we see a different wording that's quite curious. So, in the beginning of our Torah portion, Yisro, who is Moshe's father-in-law, comes to visit. And Yisro brings with him Moshe's wife, Yisro's daughter, Tzipora, and her two sons. Ve'eshnei banea, their two sons. Asher Shem Ha'echad Gershom, the name of one was Gershom, V'Shem Ha'echad Eliezer, and the name of one was Eliezer. Now that's just a strange wording, because it would have made sense, like Yosef to say the name of one is Gershom, and the name of the second is Eliezer. Why say the name of one and then the name of one twice? Rabbi Hirsch asked this question, and he gives the following answer. He says that this verse, the wording of this verse, is coming to teach us that parents must consider each child as if it is their only child, regardless of how many children they have. And so what the Torah is telling us is that Moshe and Tzipora had two sons, but each one was like an only child. Of course, not like the line I said at the beginning. You have to treat each child like this, but treat each child like they are the only child. Now, I don't mean to suggest that Moshe was a better parent than Yosef, or Asnat was a better parent than Tzipora. I don't know that, and I'm not suggesting that, but the wording in our Torah portion is meant to teach us this lesson, according to Rav Hirsch. Because imagine to yourself, and it may be relevant to you, if a person had only one child, how much effort and prayer and devotion and attention would be invested in that child, because that's the only child. So all of the investment, all of the effort, all of the prayer goes for that child. But what the Torah means to tell us is that that is what needs to be invested for every child. No child should be receiving less attention than the others, less effort than the others. We see this similar idea in the Haggadah, in the Pesach Haggadah. So we learn that Keneged Arba Banim Dibra Torah. The Torah talks about four different kinds of children. Famous passage in the Haggadah, the four children, the four sons. We usually say the four sons, but it's referring to children, not specifically boys. The four children. And then the words of the Haggadah are Echad Chacham, Echad Rasha, Echad Tam, Ve'echad she'eni yodea lishol. One is wise, one is wicked, one is simple, and one doesn't know how to ask. The word echad, one, is repeated 4 times for this exact same reason, to remind parents that they need to consider each of their children, regardless of their character, they need to consider each of their children like their one and only child. And that means to find the individual approach that will work for that child, to put all the effort in to what is necessary for that one child, because those who have more than one child know that every child has his or her own challenges and needs to have his or her own personalized, individualized attention and effort to figure out what will help that child thrive the most. Rabbi Mele Biderman used the following example. Someone has 100 keys, but only one of them will open the lock on a door. So this person tries 99 keys, and the door remains locked. So he gives up. I tried 99 times. So he gives up. Why would you give up? Why didn't you try the 100th key? And the same is true with children. We may have a child with their own specific issues, and we may try different strategies and different approaches and different schools and different experts, but we should never give up, because we have to continue to think about the nature of that child, the character of that child, and we have to keep working to find the key that will work for that child and never give up, as if it was our only child. And this does not apply only to parents. It also applies to teachers, and it applies to rabbis. Because it's very important that a teacher cares for all of his students and that a rabbi cares for all of his members. It's not enough to help most of them, or which often happens, to help the best ones. The best ones, the ones who show the most promise, the ones who are the most active, that's where we spend the attention. But that's not the right thing, because each child, each member of the community is an entire world to themselves. And therefore, each child, each member, deserves the attention and care and devotion and effort as if they were the only one. The Brisker Rav once said, now you may know of situations that are an exception to this, which is fine, but this is what the Brisker Rav said. He said, if you ask a teacher, which student is most on your mind? The Brisker Rav said, the teacher will tell you about his best student, the one who knows everything he teaches, and the one who gives him the least amount of problems. But if you ask a parent which child is most on your mind, the parent will tell you about the child who is going through hard times and challenges and difficulties. And that's why, to apply this same idea of looking at every single child, every single member, as if they are the only one, the Brisker Rav explains a passage that we say every day, twice a day, Shema Yisrael. In the first paragraph of Shema Yisrael, we say, V'shinantam levanecha, and you shall teach this to your children. Teach them the Torah, teach them the importance of the mitzvos, teach them about accepting Hashem, etc. V'shinantam levanecha, teach your children. It's fascinating that phrase, V'shinantam levanecha, teach your children, is actually repeated. It occurs 2 times in the Torah. We say it twice, once in the first paragraph of the Shema and again in the second paragraph of the Shema. In the second paragraph of the Shema, our commentators explain it means your children, the children that you gave birth to or that you're raising, that you adopted, your children. But the first time we mention it, in the first paragraph of the Shema, our sages say, V'shinantum levanecha elu hatalmidim. These are your students. These are the people you're responsible for. These are your members. Because it is necessary to identify students and for rabbi members as if they are your children. And therefore, you have to devote all of your energy to help every single one of them. Not only the ones who are doing better, not only the ones who cause the least problems, and not only the ones who show the most promise, but every single one. And there's another layer to this. The Torah says, Banim atem la'Hashem Elokechem. We are the children of God. We are God's children. And that means that God treats every one of us as an only child. That's why God listens to every single prayer of every single person. That's why God responds and intervenes in the way that it is best for every single person. That's how God treats us, as if every single one of us is God's only child. And for that reason, we must do the same for our children and our grandchildren. My friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.